Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 193 of NerdPod Generations. As always, I am one of your illustrious hosts, Steve Taylor, along with the now you know what I'm talking about, lovely Al Judson. Hello, sir.
Friends and enemies.
For those of you who are unaware, we are recording this on video to go on YouTube for the first time ever.
Fingers crossed.
So this may or may not explode in our faces.
Yeah. We're going to see.
Our faces.
Yes. Steve's face, I mean, like, you could see me if you went back into our old catalog of YouTube. But my face is not as prominently featured in our logo as yours is. So.
Yeah, you're hidden under a mask.
Yeah, so this isn't really a face reveal, but it's kind of.
But as you can see, folks,
yeah,
she did a great job. I mean, she made me look prettier than I am, but I mean, she did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
So anyways, this is technology, so we're going to give it a shot. Don't know how it's going to turn out. Could be great.
If you're listening to this on podcast, go to YouTube, and if it's not there, you know how it turned out.
Yes. And if you're looking to get to YouTube, go to nerdpodgen.com. And there is a link on the main page to our most recent episode. There's also links to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. So when you go to those sites to look up our show, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified as soon as a new episode gets up, because I'm just saying everything we do is just pure gold, and you have to enjoy it.
We do our best. I had a thought recently.
What's that?
Regarding our name, which was, it's NerdPod Generations, and we recently had Ethan on, and that was awesome, and I loved that experience.
Yes.
I realized the mission statement for our show, 193 episodes in, is that we are generations trying to teach generations, which is to say that while we're not explicitly targeted at Zoomers, I feel like that's the demographic I want to reach the most.
Yeah.
So it's Gen X and Gen Y going to Gen Z and being like, hey, nobody's ever taught you media literacy.
Yeah, and a lot of what we are teaching this younger generation is the stuff out today is crap, and we're going to tell you about really good stuff. So listen to us, heed our warnings, heed our loves and despises, and understand that we actually kind of know what we're talking about. We do get overly passionate about things.
Oh, yeah.
Which I am excited for people to see you in a rant.
It's going to be interesting.
It is. I don't know when it's going to happen.
I'm right now. I'm expecting Brand New Day. It's going to be Brand New Day is going to be the time that I think it's either going to go up or down.
Yeah.
And or our commentary episode for episode 200, depending on what we end up watching.
Yeah. I still am just torn on what to do for that show.
I mean, like, it's tough, right? We got to figure out something that's going to piss us both off in such a way that's entertaining, but not such a way that we have to pause the movie, because I think that's going to kind of take the legs out from under it. So it has to be a happy medium.
Like, this would be the perfect situation if neither one of us had seen the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Yeah.
That would have been, like, perfect for this.
See, like, I feel like, because when we did Morbius, I think Morbius was fun, but like, I kind of want something I know is going to piss us off. You know?
Yeah.
Like, guaranteed, because we went in there and we said, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? And I want to take that energy. And be like, what's the thing? Because I already know. Like, the easy finger roll in is Homecoming. Like, I can get super animated talking about Homecoming almost 10 years later. And I'm still angry about things in Homecoming.
Very much so.
I'm resisting the urge to go on a tangent. But like, I want to find something that's going to be fun for the audience, and something that's not going to make us hate ourselves.
I mean, I already hate myself, so I mean that's asking a lot.
I mean, that's the thing I'm less worried about.
Yeah, that's true. See, and it's gonna be tough because I was looking at the timing of things, and part of me thought we could do by that time Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah,
but there's a chance, even though it's getting lambasted, we might not hate it.
I honestly have a little candle that I'm like trying to bring up the mountain to be like, no, it's gonna be good, and I'm at a point where I might be biased at this point. Yeah. Of like, if it might be really bad, but I might still be like, no, but.
And the thing I'm more curious about, and I was mentioning this to my buddy Billy through text before I came here, because he asked me if I was going to see it. I said probably not until it comes out on Disney+. But then I was questioning, okay, so this was supposed to be the grand return of Star Wars to the theater.
Yeah.
Why the hell would they choose this when we know they're making that Starfighter movie with Ryan Gosling?
Because
and it's
this was supposed to be. I think Disney sees this as like an opportunity for. Everybody loves Mandalorian.
They did before season 3,
but Disney doesn't acknowledge that. They still see it as an untainted property.
Yeah.
And they say, no. Everybody loves Mandalorian. It's an easy one. It's going to go so smoothly. Why would we try something that's going to be experimental when we can do something that's going to be easy? And so they're going to try and play this off. I mean, I don't know. I literally haven't seen any reviews for it. Mm-hmm. I've seen the one review I saw for it is from somebody that, like, it's not that I don't trust her opinion. It's just that she works very closely with a lot of these people, and it's in her best interest to be very flowery and forgiving of a movie rather than to be a hard journalist and say, like, listen, this wasn't great. So, I don't know. I gotta wait and see it for myself. I don't know.
If it bombs, I hope they take notice of this and understand that just the same thing with the Marvel movies. You can't just keep doing the same thing. It's obviously not working anymore.
Yeah.
You have to figure something out.
I think the big thing, and this is something that I think the NFL could really stand to hear, is ubiquity is not good in many situations.
Yes.
Which is to say, part of what made Star Wars special was the limited capacity of it.
Yes.
There was only so much Star Wars, and it only came out so often. Mm-hmm. And what is the immediate problem that Star Wars has had since Disney bought it? It's too much, too everywhere, and of middling to lesser quality.
Yep.
And so instead of having a product where, like, the first 3 came out, and I'm not going to say that they weren't all incentivized by making money. But there was like a vision for at least the first 2. I think by the 3rd one, that was about making toys and stuff. And then the prequels come out and everybody is so excited. And we're all very forgiving. The apology of The Phantom Menace went on so long because we all wanted Star Wars to be great. And then it became a commercial again. And then it went away again, and then it came back, and it's more commercial than ever. And the lesser quality and the more commercialization of it, combined with how ubiquitous it is now, is just like, I'm so bored with this. Ultimately, I'm bored with so many Star Wars things because it's so often that they're not good. They're not impressive. They're badly written. And more they decide that their own canon is not important to pay attention to. So it's just like, I don't know, it became a prize. It became like you've risen up in Disney's ranks. It's time for you to get a Star Wars. And it's like, that's not what this is, man. And it's the same with Marvel. Take a break, guys. Take a break. Do something else.
And like you're saying, I think everything is getting oversaturated, and that's always been a problem, and it has never worked in any franchise, in any industry. Like when you build too many Applebee's.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they have to close half of them because no one wants one on every 3 quarters. The only place that seems to be able to survive that is Starbucks just because people need coffee.
Yeah.
But anytime you oversaturate the market, it never works out. And everything with this is being just bombarded. I mean, look at what happened with Star Trek.
Yeah.
I love Star Trek, but then there was just too much.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I can't even...
And like especially
watch it anymore because it's on Paramount and CBS, and I just won't watch it.
I'm just boycotted.
I'm absolutely boycotted.
I don't even know how I'm going to watch football this year, or if I'm going to watch football this year. I really I might try listening to it on radio or something. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. But yeah, no, it reminds me of a John Oliver piece about, of all things, Subway. But like
I remember that piece.
How like one of the things with Subway is that they don't care how many of them are around or how bad it is for business to have so many of them in a small space. It's the same concept.
Yep, because they're getting their franchise fee no matter what. And if it fails and the franchisee loses all their life savings, they don't give a shit because they got their money off of the franchise fees. Yeah. It's fucking stupid.
Anyway.
We like to start every episode, folks, with a little segment that's called What Have You Been Watching, Playing, or Eating? I started last week. Would you like me to start again, or do you want to take the reins on this one?
I can take the reins on this one.
You go ahead, my friend.
All right, so one fun thing we talked last week about the National Theater app.
Yes.
One thing we watched
which I downloaded
that I really liked and I would highly recommend is Ian McKellen has a one-man show. And it is brilliant. It reminds you of just how great an actor he is.
He's phenomenal.
He's so funny. He's so charming. And it's like, yes, there's a lot of stories of like, yes, me and this time that I hung out with famous person and famous person. I went to school with famous person and famous person. And I've known Judi Dench since famous person. Blah, blah, blah. So like, yeah, there is an element of that, but it's all fascinating. And in the meantime, it's couched within like these incredible moments that like you watch some of them happen. You're just like, oh, God, I wish I'd been there. He, very early on in the show, he just grabs, he says, where's a young person? And so he's like looking for a kid through like early 20s. And he's like, he brings up a young woman and he has Glamdring and like the actual sword from the movies. And he gives it to her to unsheath. And then he pulls out Gandalf's hat and he puts it on and he takes a selfie with her and he's like going through all these things and he's like, do you know who that is? And she's just like overwhelmed and she's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, I'll tell Patrick Stewart he's not as famous as me. And he's like just doing all this stuff and it's just like, and then the second half of the show is just like he goes through and has the audience call out Shakespeare plays and he has something to say about almost every single one of them.
It's just amazing.
And in some cases does entire passages from them, and it's just like it's crazy. He's so good. He has this great bit that runs through it about people who always tell him that they read Lord of the Rings once every year, and then he holds up the book and just flips through all the pages. It's just showing how long this is, and he's like, I don't believe you. But I just, it's such a good piece. I would highly
I want to see that so bad now.
I am rewatching, or I guess watching for the first time, Ted Lasso season 2.
Oh, okay.
I love that show. It's just such a breath of fresh air. It's funny when like one of the big dramatic plot lines is like there's a therapist that comes in, a sports therapist that comes in to help the team, and there's this big conflict about whether Ted is too nice. And if this sports therapist doesn't like him for being too nice. And it's like, these are some of the conflicts in the show. And you're just like, a lot of the characters are a real breath of fresh air.
Nice.
And it's just, I really love that show.
Now, how is, because I've heard from a lot of people that the second season kind of was a dip in quality.
I've enjoyed it a lot, honestly. And I mean, I'm only a few episodes in, but so far it's been really fun. And just the characterizations, you just fall right back into everything. Nice. You're not confused by anything. It just feels like a natural progression of the show. So so far I've been really enjoying it. The other big thing that we've been watching is Blue-Eyed Samurai, which is on Netflix.
Okay. So
Blue-Eyed Samurai is an anime from a few years ago. And it is Ghost of Yotei.
Oh, really?
So it's one of those things where it's like, I turned to Kelly and I was like, so which came first? Because like literally as I'm going through this show, they'll make references to things and I'll know what that is because I played Ghost of Yotei and they made the same reference.
You said Blue-Eyed
Samurai
right?
came out first. It came out in the early 2020s, and Ghost of Yotei, of course, came out last year. But it's just very funny. You have a lead female character who has been shunned or in some way made wrong in the world, and she's out on a revenge tour, and she's unstoppable and great at what she does, and she's had this rough upbringing as a result of her heritage, and she's referred to as an Onryo, which is like a demon. It's the same, like the whole thing progresses exactly the same. It's hilarious. So Blue-Eyed Samurai is about a samurai of mixed race. So they open the show and they're like, there are only 4 white men in all of Japan. And so this woman's mission is to kill all 4 of them, because one of them is her dad, and all of them are evil in one way or another.
Oh.
And
well, then.
She's just so mad at being born that she is going to kill whoever her father was. Also, I think it's implied that her dad raped her mom, if I remember correctly. Oh. So like there's a lot of couched reasons for all of this. And you know, of course, all the men are inherently evil as we've met them so far. But it's just like, it's so beautifully animated. It doesn't look like an anime. It is closer to the movie. Did you watch Klaus on Netflix?
Yes.
It's much closer to that style of animation. Gotcha. A little less cartoony, a little less Looney Tunes, a little more serious. But then it also has the gore levels of like a Game of Thrones.
Oh, well, there we go.
So it's just like lots of blood spray, lots of people being sliced in half, lots of gore, lots of entrails, lots of ceiling splatter, lots of people cleaning up blood off walls. It's like a lot. But I'm really enjoying it. I think it's just, right now I'm just taking it in stride as like, it's just funny that these two are, we'll say, so similar.
Yes.
we'll call it so similar and not anything else. We'll call it parallel thinking.
Well, they came out, so Blue-Eyed Samurai came out in 2023.
Yeah.
Which you assume Ghost of Yotei's probably been in production. Yeah. It came out in 2025.
Yes.
Right, Ghost of Yotei?
Which means it was probably in production in 2023 or 2022.
I would say maybe even before that, because COVID pushed everything.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to assume potentially, because I can't remember when the first Ghost game came out. Was that 2020 when the first? So. Because you got to assume that they were starting to work on the sequel probably right away. Yeah. So they were in production simultaneously, I bet.
Yeah, we came to the same conclusion.
And I'm just wondering, though, do the showrunner and the game producer know each other?
Did they talk one night?
Was
there a conversation?
Which, honestly, having it as a companion to one another is probably not a bad thing, because then you could say to somebody who watched the anime, hey, if you really like that,
go play Ghost of
Yotei. Get a PS5, play it,
and
vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. Go get a Netflix subscription.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, but I do love it a lot. The animation is beautiful. There's a really fun character we meet early on who has lost both of his hands.
Oh.
And he's just really jolly and friendly. He's slightly autistic coded just because the way that he approaches everything is so out of sync with anything going on around him. And so he just doesn't seem to have any kind of the same mentalities as any of the people going on. But he's also incredibly stealthy to the point where our hero has to tie a bell on him to keep track of where he is because he keeps sneaking up on her.
Well, that is interesting.
She tries to... So at the beginning of the show is she goes into a shop, a tea shop, and he is very kind and serves her, and he is berated by a lot of the customers and made bad, and his father is abusive, and everybody just makes fun of him because he doesn't have his hands, and he's a little, we'll say,
pudgy.
Yeah. And so he
friend-shaped.
Yes.
He's happy.
But he ultimately is saved by this woman and decides to follow her and doesn't know that it's a woman. She tries to pawn him off on a brothel and leaves him there for 3 days. And then he sneaks up on her and sees her naked, and he's like, "Oh, I know what this is now. I have a new frame of reference for what's happening." I love it. It's a really good show. The B plot is so far a little we'll see. There's a princess, and there's a whole line about having to dye her teeth black, and her samurai boyfriend is he's lost his honor and now he's on this mission.
Oh, weird.
It's just I don't know if I care about this. I'm kind of more interested in the other thing that's happening. So we'll see what goes on with that. But so far I'm liking that a lot.
Nice.
The last thing I wanted to talk about really quick is I have it here on the table, the new Ultimate Spider-Man. I got it.
Ooh.
I got it because if you'll look, I don't know how, but they have put me in the comic book. So this is...
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Peter Parker looks like you now.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's an exact copy of me. I'm just saying... It's not far off.
But I don't understand the beard. That would look weird under his mask.
Yeah, they don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, so what's going on here? This requires a little backstory. So Peter Parker in this is 35 and is married to Mary Jane Watson, and they have 2 kids. And Ben Parker is alive. May Parker just died. Just died.
Just of old age.
No.
Oh.
So what happened was, in the original Ultimate Universe, at some point, there was a crisis-level event where a bunch of universes were collapsing in on each other. Mm-hmm. The Ultimate Reed Richards is actually the big villain of the Ultimate Universe.
Okay.
He goes by the Maker. He's just a super evil genius monster, because it's Reed Richards with all of the knowledge of Reed Richards, but he's bent on destroying or recreating reality as he wants it. Mm-hmm. So he's done that in this. And as part of that, he has basically stopped a bunch of superheroes from having their origins. Mm-hmm. So they just never had that happen, and then they go back on with their lives.
Gotcha.
And so there's just no superhumans in this world, because the Maker and all of his various cronies have been going around kind of making sure that these events that would have happened don't happen. Mm-hmm. Tony Stark, at some point, finds out about this and goes to stop it, and is going through this whole process of trying to stop this, and as a part of that, sends out these kind of drones to people that would have been superheroes with a starter kit for being superheroes. And it's kind of like House of M, where they the people, everybody has a different origin now, but everybody feels like something's wrong. And it's kind of like that, where Peter is I just feel my life's great and I don't have anything to complain about, but something's wrong, something's missing. And so he gets this orb, and it's Tony being hey, what's going on? This is what's going on. But also, the Maker has framed Tony via a giant terrorist attack that kills, among others, Aunt May.
Oh.
And so now it's this leap of faith of
interesting.
Tony sent him this thing with instructions and basically gives him the chance to be Spider-Man, and as part of that, he gets a nanotech suit.
Okay.
So that could be the explanation as to why he doesn't appear to have a beard under his suit, is because it's not a cloth suit, it's a nanotech suit.
Okay.
And so, but so far I'm really liking it. It's really interesting. I'm 5 chapters in right now. I have a little bit more to go, and I think there's several more chapters that have come out. But so far it's really interesting.
Nice.
It's fascinating that both DC and Marvel seem to be doing the same thing, because the Absolute Universe, if you've ever heard of the Absolute Universe, Absolute Batman and whatnot, it's the same thing. Darkseid has gone through and made sure that these people that would have had superhero inclinations and stories don't have the same history, with the idea being that they don't have the ability to come to power and stop him. Mm-hmm. And so it's the same thing. It's just interesting, as long as we're talking about parallel thoughts, it's just interesting that both DC and Marvel are doing the exact same storyline right now in the Ultimate Universe in Marvel and the Absolute Universe in DC. And both, for the record, are getting really good reviews. Mm-hmm. I've not heard anybody complain about either.
But unfortunately, neither of them can transition it over to the film side of things.
No.
They seem to fuck it up along the way, which is amazing.
But it's just fun. It's I'm reading this, and it's just nice to be, the Uatu, the Watcher of sorts. Yes. Of knowing all the beats and what should be happening and where things could be going. Mm-hmm. And so you meet Harry Osborn, and you find out that Norman Osborn was killed in the attack, as well as Aunt May. And that Harry is now the Green Goblin, and Harry's married to Gwen Stacy. And you just think, I've seen this story a lot of times, and in a lot of them, the Green Goblin kills Gwen Stacy. So I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
How's this gonna go? So, but I'm very much enjoying this, and I probably will look for more books in the series, honestly. We're good. Okay, so funny story.
So, folks.
The video was like, oh, okay, I get it, and we're done. And it turned off.
Technology.
And it turns out the battery only has about 20 minutes of life on it when you're recording. So we're going to have to figure out that. But it was fun while it lasted.
So there's going to be 25 minutes of video to start.
Yes.
And then the rest is going to be old school.
The first segment will be a video.
Which, let's be honest, 25 minutes is more than enough of seeing our faces for people to stomach. Yeah. So let's just keep it at that. Yeah. I will continue on with my product placement, though, because even though... Going. Okay, so for those of you who are unaware of this, I know we talk about comics a lot. Al has far more knowledge on the comic side than I do. But back in the day, long before you were in a part of this world, I was a big comic collector.
Oh, yeah.
And I still have a collection of 117 books. I have them in cases, and they're in these waterproof Rubbermaid containers. So I have them very protected. The only problem is I'm always like, I know what I have, but I want to see what I have. Well, there is an app called CLZ Comics. And it's, for those of you who are into Pokemon, there's an app called Rare Candy, which is big in our household also, where you take a picture of the Pokemon card and it shows you the value, and it shows you what the card is and gives you all the information on the card. Well, this one doesn't show you the value, but it's a subscription service. Is $20 a year, so it's worth having. You take a picture of your comic, it puts the comic into your collection, and then it shows you a description of the comic, shows you, like, if it's a first time a certain character has ever been in the comics. It shows you who the writer is, the penciler, how many pages are in it, what the cover, like, it tells you all the information. So I think that's awesome. And
that's
I just now, I'm looking at it and I have my entire collection visible to me so I can see what I have.
Yeah.
So CLZ Comics, it's on the iOS store. I'm assuming it's an Android as well. So I would definitely recommend that. Next one. Now, this is a little product that... So China makes a lot of products.
Yes, they do.
And they'll say it's like... So I'm going to use Ambernick as an example. Ambernick, for those who are unaware, is a company that makes retro handhelds. Very well known for making quality retro handhelds, but affordable ones. The thing is, you go on Amazon, you'll see their products with many names. Because they allow other companies to buy them and then sell them under their name. So I got a wireless gamepad for the Switch 2 because I love the Switch 2. It's my favorite console ever. I do enjoy handheld mode, but like the Switch 1, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world to do handheld mode, especially for a very long time. So I looked up, and right now there's a company that I had a similar product called CRKD. They make a similar product where you just slide the tablet in and it turns into almost looking like a Steam Deck. Their Switch 2 version isn't coming out until the end of summer. So I'm like, I really kind of want something. I'm going on vacation soon. I want something. And the only one on the market I really found is called the JC400 Wireless Gamepad. If you go on Amazon, type in Gameefy, Gameefy, and this will come up. But once again, it's the thing that it has many different names. It was $49.99, but there was a $10 off coupon, so it was $39.99.
Right.
It is a rechargeable gamepad that you just slide the tablet in. There are little locking mechanisms, and it's Bluetooth, so it's not hardwired in, so it can be used as a controller if the tablet isn't in it. So it does have to charge like a normal controller, which is kind of annoying. Yeah. But it's awesome. Like, the ergonomics is great. It's so much more comfortable to play. I don't typically play games like Fortnite in handheld mode. It's something that you want the faster performance of it being in the dock and using the controller, the Pro Controller. But I tried it with this, and it was doable. Which, if you're doing handheld mode on the normal Switch 2 or the regular Switch, it's not doable.
Yeah.
It's really tough. But this is very comfortable, very nice. Love it. So, Gameefy or whoever makes this, you can sponsor us next time.
I will say, like, that's my one thing with the Switch 2, is I think it's a little bulky to use in handheld mode. When I've tried to use it in handheld mode, I don't know what it is about the size or the grips, but I find that the the Switch 2 on its own in handheld mode isn't very comfortable to play. So it sounds like this at least fixes that to some degree.
It definitely fixes it. It makes it bulkier.
Yeah.
But it's in a more comfortable way. And it is not an insanely well-built thing. So, but what I say about that is it works great and there's no issues with it. It's just, it's very light. So you could tell it's not like the best plastic. Like, it's just cheap plastic and whatnot. But it's good enough that the thumbsticks, to me, the big problem with the Switch and the Switch 2, I don't like the thumbsticks on the Joy-Con. I just never liked them. They just don't feel good to me. And so this has thumbsticks that are, I mean, these are the Hall effect, whatever so there'll be no stick drift. But these are more in line with the thumbsticks that are on the Pro Controller.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah. Because
once again, I feel like I'm going to break the other thumbsticks because they're made, I mean, they're well made, but they're kind of small. Mm-hmm. And I don't love it. Yeah. And that's always been a problem with me.
Yeah. No, I like the Switch 2. I don't know why. It just feels off in my hands. Yeah. It's definitely, for me, it's much more of a on-TV console for me when I use it.
And that's usually how I do it. But there are some games now where I want to lay in bed and play it. And so this is like, for $40, it's worth it.
I mean, I went into Best Buy yesterday to buy cables for our little video experiment. And one of the things that I saw that I was like, maybe, was the PlayStation version of that allows you to play PlayStation games.
The Portal?
Yeah.
I tell you, Ethan, so for those of you who listened, Ethan was on our show a couple episodes ago. He's had one. He got one the same week he got his PS5 because it was his birthday. We got him the PS5 for his birthday. My family got him the Portal. He was reluctant at first, but now he loves it.
Yeah.
And it runs silky smooth. You got to have a really solid Wi-Fi connection, which luckily since my wife and I work from home, we have a crazy powerful Wi-Fi. And it's awesome.
I kind of want one.
The screen's beautiful, dude.
Yeah, because like I've been playing Spider-Man again. I want to play Red Dead. I went to play games on my PS5 yesterday, and I was like, I don't want to. I already had to download an update because you can't turn on the PS5 without there being an update. And I was like, I don't want to have to download all of my games.
Yeah.
You know, so like I just started playing Spider-Man 2 and Kyler's like, oh, why this one? I was like, because it's the only one that's downloaded right now. I don't want to download something. I don't want to wait 40 minutes for something to download. And that's the thing about, like, I wish that the discs were actually discs with the game on them.
Yeah.
And not just some kind of pattern recognition that the system uses to recognize of like, oh, this is a game, let me download it out of our online library.
And once again, that's what I still hate about people that bitch about Nintendo with the key cards. It's like, dude, Sony and Microsoft have been doing that for years now. All, like you said, all the discs, even if half the game's on the disc, typically it's 100 gig and then they still have to download half.
Yeah.
Which is a ton.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, honestly, I just give me a handheld that's big enough to put a disc in the back of. I mean, come on. Like,
good old PSP.
Right?
With the UMDs.
I mean,
oh,
come
man,
on.
I love my PSP.
I just.
But yeah. So I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. This is my new favorite thing. I just got it yesterday. So I've been really playing with it, and I love it. I absolutely love it.
I kind of want to get a Steam Deck, too. That's the other one that I'm like,
see,
it could be fun.
I would look at the Portal and see if you can get one at a good price right now, because the Steam Decks are out of stock, and they have been for a while because of the RAM crisis, and they say when they come back, they're going to be priced
to hell. Yeah.
And so the positive thing, though, is right now with the RAM crisis, they're talking about postponing the PS6 indefinitely, and that gives the PS5 a much longer lifespan.
Please do. Sony, I swear to God, that we are not cows which will be milked every 6 years. All right? You need to give me more. If I'm going to invest this kind of money in something, it has to be every 10 years.
Well, that's why I think they're smart this time, because typically they wouldn't give a shit if the system was $400 or $500, but the likelihood of it being under $1,000 this next one is very slim.
Yeah.
And I think they understand that. They're like, people are bitching about the Switch 2 going up to $500. What are you going to do when the PS6 is $1,000?
It's $1,000 plus each game is $80.
Yes.
It's just like, I can't do that, man. I can't do that. You gotta meet me somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
You like our economy, not to take a hard turn here,
my God.
but like our economy has been shambled into this, like, the millionaires will fill in the gap. yeah, we ate the middle class to create the millionaire class, but that just means like we can still have everything, and then the millionaires will just fill in the gap in the market.
Nope.
And it's like, guys, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Trickle-down economics has never worked in this country.
Not only
people still believe in it. Has never fucking worked.
You're not going to have enough people buying your product because each millionaire needs like what, 5 at most. Like they're not going to be buying a ton of these.
Yep.
Compared to how many Americans would love to get one but can't because it's prohibitively expensive, and we have things like rent or, if you're really lucky, a mortgage.
Yep.
And just like, I don't know, man.
No, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. All right, so I got to move on real quick. Yes. I want to do a quick talk about... So I've watched the first half of Project Hail Mary.
Okay.
Not the full thing because it got halfway through and I was watching it with my son and he's like, I don't really want to watch this anymore. I'm like, all right. He's already seen it and liked it.
Oh, okay.
It was just one of those... I think it was late. It was getting... he was in that mood where it's like, I don't know if I really want to watch this. My take on the first half. It's good.
Okay.
I'm seeing a lot of things that I've seen in other movies. I mean, the storyline of like going to check on this son to see why our son is dying. A lot of remnants of Sunshine in there.
Yeah.
The Danny Boyle movie and all that. But it's got a lot of similarities, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie.
No.
But I am not getting this. It is like the second coming that a lot of reviewers have given it.
Hi, me.
No, I don't think you were like.
Oh, I kind of glazed this.
You glazed on it, but not as much as like some people are like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened and all that. I'm like, listen, it's fine. Like
in a world where people are like going goo goo gaga for it.
Yes.
I feel like I was going pretty goo goo gaga for it. I wasn't like some kind of like. Back in 2005, Tom Brady was like a big deal, but he wasn't like everybody's favorite guy.
Yeah.
Whereas by 2020, he was like, oh my God, have you seen Tom Brady? Oh my God, I'm in line to suck his dick today, and I cannot wait. He was the iPhone 18.
You would bite that thing off.
Dude, don't even get it close to me, man.
This is taking a turn.
I will Johnny Cage.
I can understand why there's this much.
Yeah.
Because it is a very well-made movie. I love the practical effects in it.
Yes.
And Ryan Gosling he's the new it. Like, I love Ryan Gosling. He can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I know it's that way with a lot of people. It's just, it's a quality of movie we're not seeing a lot of nowadays.
Yeah.
So I can understand why it's become this. But I think part of it is I have been delving so deep into older movies that in watching this now, I'm like, I can see the quality and I know it's good, but it just isn't blowing my skirt up.
Do you think it's a hype train issue as well? Of like, since it's had so much hype, you kind of come into it feeling like, wow, this better be really good?
Not really. I don't really board the hype train too much. The hype train is something I build for myself. Mm-hmm. So I had zero hype going into this because I know people loved it and I heard all the reviews and stuff, but I'm like, the premise, as I read the premise, it sounded very samey to me to a lot of things I've seen. And that's also the vibe I got after watching this first half. I'm like, okay. Like, it's fascinating to me. It does seem like a mix of Sunshine, Star Wars, and 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay.
Like, because like the scene when the alien ship first shows up, and there are those two contraptions that come out. They look like droids, and it looks like a droids and a Star Wars thing. So that's why I was like, okay. But then that ship looks exactly like all the ships look like they came out of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
In a lot of ways. And so I'm getting a lot of samey stuff. And so I do, once again, I don't want to say that I have not seen the ending. So I've only seen the first half, and so this is a judgment on half a movie. And so that's why I'm not giving it a grade. I'm not giving it like a final judgment. This is what I've seen so far. I would have liked to have seen maybe a little more on Earth. Mm-hmm. I know that they're intercutting it throughout, and that's fine. But I enjoyed the stuff on Earth more.
I was going to say, how do you like Carl? Carl might be my favorite part.
Carl's awesome.
I love Carl.
Carl's awesome.
Like that whole sequence where they're
They go to Home Depot. And
where they're like, awesome. You got nothing, we got nothing, we got no budget. And he's like, well, I have a company card.
But that's where it kind of... The tone shifts.
Yeah.
Were a little off-putting for me a little bit. And I think that's because I understand they wanted to do this fancy switching back and forth in time and all this, kind of The Witcher season 1, I call it. Mm. But I think the tonal shifts throw it off a little bit. Because on Earth, it's very jovial. And even though the world's going to fucking end and everyone's like, oh shit, and the kids are freaking out in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's still like joyous to an extent.
Yeah.
And then when you get into space, it's kind of very somber, especially at first when he sees the dead bodies and you know you're going to find out about these people and all that. But I'm just like, the tonal shifts are a little off for me.
Have you gotten to the karaoke scene yet?
I have not.
Okay, so that might address some of your concerns.
The scene I'm in is the scene we ended was when he just went to the tube and met Rocky for the first time. We tapped on the glass, and then he went back to the ship.
Yeah.
So that's where we ended it.
Yeah. Oh, you are about to get to the best part of this.
See, that's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is a halfway through judgment so far.
I just love... Carl, are you sitting down? No, I'm standing like a man.
Like a man.
Carl, we're parents. Okay, I'm sitting down now.
I love that. No, that interaction was great.
I love Carl.
But I also loved... Like, to me, I loved Ryan Gosling in that role.
Yeah.
Because now he's kind of like, I'm in the spaceship and I'm figuring out how to pilot it and all this stuff. And I'm like, I liked it when you were this awkward, nerdy guy who was this kook that everyone thought was out of his mind. And now you're trying to help. But then all of a sudden you're Han Solo. You know what I mean? It's like, that's where I was like, I loved the stuff on Earth.
Yeah.
Loved it. And I know there's going to be more and I'm going to be able to see more of that. But I kind of was craving more of that in this first part. Because you get the interactions between Carl and him. And even him with the woman that finds him. Like, she's this, like, no emotion. But she's awesome.
The most German woman you've ever met.
So German, but she was so fucking awesome. I loved every scene of her. And the whole thing, I'm like, dude, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But even the first interaction with Carl, he's like, is the world really ending? Yes. And you're like, oh, okay.
Okay.
That was fucking awesome.
No, I love Carl. Carl is like, there are moments that are brought up by fans later on, and my answer is always Carl. The answer is always Carl. I love this movie. I can't wait for you to watch the second half because I'm genuinely curious to see how you're going to feel when you come back, because I think that you're about to get to the most fun elements of this movie and the most spectacular visuals. Not to re-gear the hype train. I came over here like a NASCAR pit crew and I was like, zr, zr, it's really good. Zr, zr, wait, just gonna be better. Zr, zr. So like, but like, you know, I think it's gonna be.
It's an apt description. I mean, Indy 500 tomorrow, so
I think.
Or was it today? I can't remember.
I honestly, I wonder if in a world where we are trying to be better about things, how long stock car racing is gonna last.
It's gonna last,
you
unfortunately, as long as Tyler Sheridan shows a lot.
You think that there's enough gas for them to keep doing it, or what about a world where they're the only people using gas anymore?
Okay, so Indy 500 is it's not NASCAR.
Yeah,
NASCAR would be the one that I think will go because IndyCar is
so big
over the world.
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, I like IndyCar better because it's not just taking a left turn.
Because it's turns. There's turns.
Yes.
You have to know the course.
Exactly.
What movie am I more interested in? Talladega Nights or Rush? Rush by a long shot. And not just because Talladega Nights is a different type of movie, but because the sporting in them is
See, I will give you that analogy.
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder stuff,
Days
though.
of Thunder.
I have the softest spot for Days of Thunder. And I hate NASCAR. I just love all of the characters in that movie. They could have just been doing RC boats for all I give a shit.
Yeah.
I love Robert Duvall in that movie. You know, the Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, what's his face, Yondu.
Fucking Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. Like, I love all of them in that movie. And it's like, all right. So, and Carrie Elwes plays a great, like, villain, quotation mark. And it's like, it's a fucking great movie. So, because I love Rush. Yeah. You're right. If I had to pick Rush against any other NASCAR movie, Rush, and even the new F1 I finally saw was actually really good.
Yeah. Well, Ford v Ferrari. God help me. I like that movie a lot. Movie. I can't help it. It's just, the racing is so compelling.
Yes.
I watch Top Gear and Grand Tour, which they never talk about NASCAR and know nothing about it because to them it means nothing. Yeah. Because why would it mean anything? You're driving around in a circle. Ooh, 5,000 laps. Wow.
And even though saying that, I do want to shout out and R.I.P. So many moons ago, I was dating a young lady whose family was big into NASCAR, and I was told, you need to pick a NASCAR driver. And I picked Kurt Busch.
Okay.
And his brother Kyle, who was 41, just died.
No kidding.
Who was also a NASCAR driver.
Kyle Busch just died?
Died of severe pneumonia and sepsis.
Damn.
And so I felt horrible, because I kind of felt like I was part of the Busch family, because... Yeah. Kurt Busch was like my driver, and then his brother, and I was like, sure. Now, mind you, I never watched a race, but I picked a driver.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, I was like, R.I.P. He had two or three young kids. It was heartbreaking. All right, so bring it back.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
So I'm going to move on to my final thing I want to talk about in Watch, Play, Read, and that is I was wrong last week. I saw some rumor that The Boys finale was going to be a movie, but there was actually another episode, which I thought the episodes ended.
There is still also going to be a movie as well.
Oh, is there going to be a movie too? Okay. I don't know what they're going to do with the movie because it ended.
I think the movie's a prequel.
Oh, so that sucks. No, there's a prequel TV series.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, the Vought
That's
Chronicles
what I'm talking
or something. Yeah. So the thing I would say about this whole series, very lazy writing.
Yeah, you think?
Well, the ending really makes it stand out because, okay, so for those of you who are unaware of The Boys, there are a lot of things that follow the comics and a lot that do not. Mm-hmm. Two of the main things that don't are Soldier Boy and Black Noir. Noir, in this show, him and Soldier Boy were World War II veterans who were these super soldiers back then. Black Noir was a guy whose face was destroyed, and so he couldn't speak, and his face was all messed up. And Soldier Boy was like this raunchy Captain America, and they had to put him on ice because he had this power where his chest glows, and it's almost like Iron Man's where he shoots the repulsor ray, unibeam. But his beam is like a nuclear beam, and it will take away the powers of other supes.
He's like an EMP.
Exactly. So in the show, the first Black Noir dies. They get a guy who's a super soldier, or not super soldier. He's a supe, but he's also an actor. So they say, put on the uniform, and you're going to pretend to be Black Noir because Homelander killed the original one. And then Soldier Boy, they thaw him out, and then they find out that they use his genetics to create Homelander, so Homelander's technically his son. And it's all of this shit. And it ends with so this is a big spoiler if you've not seen the end of The Boys' final season. Homelander's taken over. He is quite literally thinks of himself as a god. And he has taken over the presidency. He's killed the president. He is running the fucking country, 1,000%. So one of the characters of The Boys, the actual group, The Boys, is this female super soldier. I keep saying super soldier. This female supe who she's almost like Wolverine without the claws.
I've heard of her.
Super healing ability, all that stuff. And they use... So her boyfriend in it, Frenchie. And I don't want to missay her name. It's like Kikomo or...
I know it's Karen Fukuhara plays her.
Karen Fukuhara, yeah. Kamiko. Yeah. I'm 99% sure it's Kamiko. So Frenchie and Kamiko decide, all right, we're going to bombard you with nuclear radiation to try to, because that's what the Russians did to give Soldier Boy his powers. So they're like, we're going to bombard you with these nuclear radiation to hopefully give you that power so that you can confront Homelander, take away his power, and we kill him. Sure shit, that's what happens at the end. Mm-hmm. She takes away his power, and then Butcher and So Homelander rapes Butcher's wife, and she has a baby. And that baby grows up to be a Soup who Homelander desperately wants him to be like, you're my son, I want you to be like my second in command. But the kid's like, fuck you, you're a lunatic. And so Butcher is kind of like his stepdad in a weird way, but there's a lot of animosity between them. But they're holding Homelander. She shoots all three of them. All three of them lose their powers because Butcher had taken some of the V drug to give him these weird powers.
Yeah.
And they literally just like take the top of Homelander's head off and they kill him in a dumb way. Lazy as shit. And then the after credit, pre-credit, this is what's happening in their lives now. Lazy writing. In the comic book, Soldier Boy is just some douchebag Captain America.
Yeah.
He's not this hero. He's not this role. He's literally a fucking piece of shit. And that's who he is.
Yeah.
Black Noir, in the comic book, is a clone of Homelander that they created in case he gets out of control so he can kill Homelander. And then throughout the comic book series, he goes crazy. The Black Noir clone. Yeah. He goes crazy, dresses as Homelander, and commits all of these atrocities and puts them on Homelander. And then at the end, when Homelander loses it, he shows up, kills Homelander, and then the boys kill Black Noir. And that's how it actually is in the book.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, how hard would it have been? Like, I don't understand why they would have gotten away. They could have changed everything else. Kept Black Noir. Yeah. Instead of creating this whole backstory with Soldier Boy, and have him, no one knows who he is, not even Homelander, because he always keeps his mask on, and there's this trust, and, no one knows who he is. He doesn't speak. And keep that, and then use oh my God, Homelander's creating all these atrocities. Why is he doing this? Oh, it's not him, but he's doing atrocities, but this one doing these worst things is the clone who's...
Yeah.
And I don't understand, this goes into why change something unnecessarily when you could have stuck with the original and it would have played better and you wouldn't have had to change much else in this entire series.
It sounds like a missed opportunity because it sounds like he doesn't even have... Does he have a role in the finale at all?
Who?
Black Noir?
No.
Yeah, he's just not
He's been killed already.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, to me... But the problem I have is once again, the ending is as spoon-fed this series was going on. We know exactly how the people want it to end. Here you go.
Yeah.
Which, if they could have stuck with this, I guarantee the majority of people would not have looked at the comic to know who Black Noir is.
Yeah.
And then have this be the surprise at the end would have been massive. That would have been all over the internet. It would have jumped the ratings like crazy.
Especially if it was one of those, they tell you, oh, the original Black Noir was killed and we had to replace him with this guy and this is all the details on this guy, and none of that is true.
Yeah.
And it's just a wholly different thing. That, at least that would be interesting.
It would have been something, but it's and I'm watching the finale okay.
Yeah.
The people you wanted to die died. But it wasn't in a way that was satisfying.
No.
Because especially, I think the way they created, and I do have to give, a lot of credit. The cast is great in the show, and, Carl Urban is still my all-time favorite, of course. But Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, he's great playing this absolute lunatic psychotic. I still love it. I think it's the end of season 2. When Homelander starts to lose it, they show him standing on a building like Batman at night, but instead of staring out to save the city, he's jerking off. And it's that is what a demented Superman would do. And the way they played it, they don't show, you know what he's doing, but they don't show it. And to me, it's that's a demented Superman. But then they got lazy with it. And they just took away some of the mystery, and they made him out to be too much Like, I know he's the bad guy, but they made him out to be too much of the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's like there should have been some ambiguity going on of, I know he's bad, but is he still trying to save things? Is he still trying to help people? And then he goes bad in the final season. But pretty much from the second season, they said, no, this guy is a piece of shit. He doesn't give a fuck about anybody, and he's going to kill everyone on this planet.
Well, and from what I've heard, because I don't watch The Boys,
yeah,
it sounds like around that time was when Homelander became this very opaque, clear, distinct Trump allegory.
Oh,
And that is just all part of it now, to the point where even The Boys creators were getting criticized by people, including fans, for being like, you're going too far. You're taking this too far. So it sounds like, honestly, it sounds like The Boys got the ending it deserved, given everything that they've done.
It did. And in reality, it kind of finished with a whimper.
Yeah.
Which, for the first couple seasons, show was being talked about and similar to like a Game of Thrones. Not in quality, but just the amount of talk about it.
Yeah.
And then they started to up the gross factor, which turned a lot of people off. But then once again, it turned into this spoon feeding, which this going off of the Daredevil Born Again, this show, The Boys, was my first one where I was like, you're doing too much like Trump.
Yeah.
And watching this show, I think that's why I had as much hate for Daredevil doing it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, another show already did it to death.
Yeah.
So just don't fucking do it.
Well,
I don't need to see this.
I feel the same way as when any movie decides to have cell phones be a prominent element or the internet be a prominent element of the story. I'm like, isn't that the whole thing, is trying to find a way to make it so that the internet is removed from the story so that it can't be the thing that solves all your problems?
Yeah.
Like, I hate it when a character pulls out a phone in any movie, even comedies. I don't love it. And it's just like, it's the same thing of just like, everybody has to do their Trump allegory now.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be like, hey, do you know what's bad? Everything.
Yeah,
and it's like,
lazy.
yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Wow, I hadn't noticed. Oh,
and
my
I'm
God.
watching this to fucking forget about it.
Yeah.
And you're not making that easy.
Who are you teaching this to?
Yeah.
Who do you feel like you need to teach this to who doesn't already understand it?
But another thing about that, though, is it's just, I'm getting so tired of the lazy writing.
Yeah.
And like, the Trump part is lazy, but then also over-goring it, over-pushing these disgusting vibes, like the Terrifier movies. The first one was a niche thing that was sick and gross. Oh, I can't believe you saw it. And then they made a second one. You're like, oh, okay, it's kind of the same. It's sick. It's got a creepy girl in it now, and it's still creepy, but okay. And then the third one, you're just like, dude.
Yeah.
How many times are you going to show this clown doing the grossest death? And it's like, it's getting so, and I don't know if it's us. Are we as consumers just giving them a pass because we want the samey feeling and we're too afraid? And I'm not saying like us, like you and me.
Yeah.
I'm like us as the consumers, because it seems like they're like, you know what? We know what they want. This is what they want. And then we watch it. Like it or not, we're like, yes, we watched it. And
well,
it's like, no.
This has been going on for 20 years, because I remember when people got to Saw 3 and they said, okay. And then we got to Saw 4 and they said, okay. And then we got to Saw 5 and they were like, what are we doing? And then they got to Saw 6 and they were like, do we have to talk about us as a culture? And they got to Saw 7. They were like, I feel like this is really bad, guys. And they got to Saw 8. And Roger Ebert was like, I fear for where we are as a society. And they got to Saw 9. And everybody was like, we're just going to ignore this now and hope it goes away. And then Saw 10 comes out like 10 years later. And people are like, they reinvented the genre. And it's like, I don't know if that's a good thing, though. Is that a good... Is that something
especially
we need?
when you're a series that quite literally created the terminology torture porn?
Yeah.
And that's what Saw. The first Saw, people were like, torture porn. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
And now that's a thing.
And I feel like it's the same with hyper-violence, because that's my thing with Invincible. It works in Blue-Eyed Samurai, but there's a lot of moments where you're just like, oh, this is going to be one of those shows.
Yeah.
This is just going to be one of those shows.
And I'm not against, I've seen enough violent things. I'm not against it, but you have to use it in moderation. Same with nudity. Same with sex. Same with, like, they pigeonholed in... So there's the Vought Academy or whatever, that spin-off show, the college. Gen V. They put 3 people from that show had like small cameos in this. And I'm like, this is dumb.
Well, and like that's my problem with The Boys in general. So because I like superheroes and because I'm on YouTube, YouTube's like, oh, we have so much The Boys content and everybody else loves it and you love superheroes, so you need to. And so it's just like every third video is something from The Boys. So I've just been inadvertently exposed to a bunch of elements from it. And every time I see something from it, I'm like, of course you did this. Because you're not the first person to do it, but you took it to the frat party logical end.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, yeah, you know Medusa of the Inhumans and how she can control her hair? Well, what if there was a character that could do that, but she could only control her pubic hair? And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing?
There's a character in many episodes this season who has a gigantic penis that he uses to beat people with.
Just like, what is this?
And that's dumb.
What is this? What are we doing? You can't invent. You have to make an evil Superman and an evil Wonder Woman and an evil Batman and a dumb Aquaman. But the thing that you're going to be quote unquote creative about is pubic hair and giant dicks. And what if Ant-Man got big and had gay sex and then it exploded all over a room of people? Like, what?
Oh, dude,
what the fuck is this?
It's terrible. There was only I'll honestly say this final season there was one moment. I give The Boys in general, including this final season, like a D+. Mm-hmm. There was one A+ scene in this though. So the Deep, the dumb Aquaman, he helps pass. He goes and does PSA commercials about this pipeline that they want to put under the ocean, saying fish love it, everything's great. And then he had pissed off the new Black Noir, so the new Black Noir goes underwater and punches a hole in it and kills all these like sea creatures and all that. And he gets blamed. The Deep does.
Yeah.
So he's sitting on a dock, and this hammerhead shark shows up and starts saying, "Hey, why don't you get in and swim, eh?" Samuel L. Jackson's voice. And it gets to the point where he's like, "We know it was you! You can't get in a body of water, motherfucker! Get in a puddle, a lake!" And I was dying because it's like, dude, that is awesome. Because he just goes on an absolute Samuel L. Jackson swear-ridden rant, and it is amazing. And just having Samuel L. Jackson's voice coming out of a hammerhead shark, I was like, it's the greatest thing ever. And it does bring you back to a little bit of
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea. And I'm like, oh, he's part of it now.
If he was just a giant mutant shark.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
And like it was just full circle.
Dude, I was laughing my fucking ass off in that scene though, because he's just not a puddle, a lake, motherfucker will kill you, and he's just screaming. I was like, ugh! But the rest of it sucked.
Yeah. If you've never looked it up, look up how much Sam Jackson makes per F-bomb. It's
a lot.
The best math you've ever seen.
And I do always give him credit. One of my guilty pleasure movies, which is Snakes on a Plane. They wanted to change the title. He goes, the only reason I'm fucking doing this is the title Snake on a Plane. And then they said they want to do PG-13. He goes, if I can't say motherfucking snakes, and it was his idea to say motherfucking snakes on the motherfucking plane. And he's the one that made it rated R, and the rest is history.
I mean, it was literally the only reason to watch that movie.
I fucking
literally
love that
the only
movie.
reason to watch that movie.
Oh, he is like just chewing the scenery, and it's the best.
The only other moment that I like from that movie is Kenan Thompson being put in charge of the plane, and he's like, well, I play Flight
Simulator, yes!
It's kind of the same, right?
Which, honestly, the new Flight Simulator, people are saying...
People say that's how pilots actually train.
You can learn on that shit.
Yeah.
So now we gotta move on, folks, to Punisher One Last Kill, which we know that title fucking doesn't make any goddamn sense, and it's stupid. It's a 45-minute... Disney Plus short film.
45-minute felt generous.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Werewolf by Night, where it's a short little...
It's like they said, hey, we know you guys want us to do Punisher.
Yeah.
So here's Punisher, and then they walked away. And it's like, okay. I'm so torn on this. I'm like... I'm right at like 50-50, maybe 60-40 on a good day. But, like, the problem is that this is just Dredd. It's just Dredd. And Dredd is a better version of this.
It is, but for a little bit of time. Like, the part...
For enough of it, I would say.
But the part at the actual... So, what the scene Al's talking about is there's a scene at a massive apartment complex where the bad guys are coming up and the Punisher has to go down and take them all out. And that's about 10 minutes. So I give you, it's a quarter of the thing. But I don't know about you. I'm getting tired of the, like, tortured Frank Castle. Yeah. I want the Frank Castle that's just like that we kind of see at the end of this, but I would expect this because was there 2 or 3 seasons of The Punisher?
There were 2.
2 seasons of Punisher, but then he also was a big part of the 3rd season of Daredevil, right?
Yes.
That's the one he was in.
The 2nd season of Daredevil, 2 seasons of The Punisher.
Oh, it was the 2nd season.
Second season.
Daredevil. So he's been a major, but it's like we've gotten past that point where he shouldn't be this tortured. I'm gonna scream. Like that scream that he does over and over and over again, like it's cool at first, but then you're like,
It felt like, admittedly, I haven't watched the Punisher TV series in a while. I've been meaning to go back to it, but I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't remember Curtis dying. I don't remember Micro dying. I don't remember he picked up a girl at one point that was hanging around with him. Like he had a group of people. Yeah. And the girl's in TED now, so I guess that's where she ended up. But like, I'm lost. I feel like, okay, but when did all this happen? When did
that's it right there?
Going on? You said it. Because like I get it. It's been conservatively. I hate this fucking timeline. Let's say that the 2nd season of Punisher takes place in 2018.
Okay.
And then the snap happens sometime after the 2nd season of Punisher ends, right? And so now you have 5 years plus the amount of time that we've actually been since 2018, which is 8 years. So you have a commiserate 12 years. Sure. I guess. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I've been trying to figure out, and what's it like you're saying, the timeline is no one can figure it out. The way he looks at the start of this movie, I'm going to use quotations on that. This movie
special, whatever you
is
call it.
how he looked in this most recent season of Daredevil: Born Again.
Yeah,
the brief period he's in it, and then the end of this movie is what he looks like in the upcoming Spider-Man movie, as far as having his outfit on and looking like, I understand. I'm done being this grumpy fuck. I am going to be just a vigilante that goes out and kills bad guys.
I know what my mission is.
Exactly. It makes you think then that this takes place during that Daredevil Born Again, or it takes place right after it.
Yeah.
So there's no mention or anything of everything that happened at Daredevil. Like, there's no talk about and anything that's going on in New York City around him or anything around there about what happened with Kingpin and what's going on with this. And
well, and Daredevil Born Again Season 1 ends with Frank confronting the AVTF, basically telling all of them, if I ever see any of you, I will kill you.
Yes.
Take my name off your chest, keep my name out your mouth, and, understand that we are not the same. And breaking out of the Kingpin secret prison.
Mm.
And then I guess going to Queens, and he just hangs out in Queens and has panic attacks and flashbacks, and I'm a little like that's the part that I get a little lost on. I'm just like, and also I've never thought of Frank as somebody who was like, I'm only doing this. I mean, like, obviously he was doing this because of his family, but like, I don't know, the kind of outrageous way that Marvel wove everybody's backstories and Punisher together, so there was this massive conspiracy that Frank's family was at the center of, so that now it's like when they're gone and he's done that, now he has nothing to do. I'm like, I don't know, I never got that feeling from Frank.
I call this, I every time I see it, I start laughing. It's the Pepe Sylvia scene where they have the board with all the things. And I'm like, dude, that cliche is so fucking used out. There are computers now. Yeah. People do this shit digitally. Just fucking stop doing this. It's in everything still. Stop. Yeah. It's fucking been done to death.
Yeah, no, I like this, but I felt taken out of it by a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like, so the parts of it that I like are also, unfortunately for this, biased. The building that he lives in, we lived within sightline of one of those buildings.
Okay.
Like, I knew those kinds of streets. That street felt like my old street in the Bronx. Like, I felt very attached to it, which was why I was like, how the fuck is no one here stopping any of this from happening?
Yeah.
This is supposed to take place in the same year as the Kingpin, which is supposed to be hyperlaw. Where is anybody doing anything about this? Yep. Why is all this happening and there's just this lawlessness? Why is there this neo-Nazi running around beating people up?
And He looks like they stole Borderlands.
Yeah.
The crazy guy with the mask. Take the mask off. That's what looks like this guy. The way he acted and ran around.
And they went too far making us hate him in the beginning. Like, they just... they took it all too far.
And I'll be honest, I gotta say something about the internet. Everyone talked up about the killing of the dog like it was the end-all worst thing. Yeah, it sucks that he killed the dog, but you don't see anything. You don't even hear anything.
You do. You do hear something.
Barely. But I mean, in the same vein, he's like, people are getting full on. The dude gets stabbed with a pencil numerous times, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. But a dog died off camera. It's the worst fucking thing that ever happened on the internet.
There's a scene where we do see the police show up, and then they run away.
Yeah.
Like, there's a moment
they start backing up and the car's on fire and the cops getting beat up.
A pimp is beating up a prostitute and is dragging her around by her hair, and this cop shows up, and then someone throws a milkshake at the car, and the cop just dips.
Yeah.
The cop's just gone. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I thought Kingpin was talking up this huge game, and also, where are all these vigilantes I hear so much about? And also, if this is Queens, now I gotta ask,
where's Spider-Man?
Pete, the fuck's going on? My dude, impolitely.
Well, and especially we know that this Punisher is going to be in the fucking movie
with Pete.
This Punisher,
and they've interacted enough for him to call him Frank.
Yeah.
So what's going on, my dude? I need to know what your plan is here because it doesn't make any sense. I want to like this because it has that avenging angel feel that I really am like begging for in real life, and so you get to see it here, and you're like, oh, great. But, like, and there's the violence, and there's the cursing, and it's a little sexy at times, and there's a lot of torn-up Punisher stuff, and I don't know, man. I just don't feel like it all came together in the end.
No, I agree. And a lot of it, once again, for me, is tortured Frank. I'm done with it. Like, I want to see my cold, steely Punisher.
Yeah.
I am here to kill people. I don't feel sorry for myself. I am what I am. And I fucking know what I am, and I'm very good at what I do, and I'm just going to kill people.
And it also makes it feel like they made it too big a deal. Like, if it's this big a deal, where Frank is, like, carving up his own skin.
And, like, seeing
and ghosts and having hallucinations. And then he's just going to be like, oh, I have a new mission. I'm good. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? No, he's just going to shrug that off? No. No. At one point, this was a moment I was like, is that what's going on here? And it's the only thing I can think of. He was doing so many pull-ups, his hands were bleeding. Which I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm a little confused by the physics of that.
That doesn't happen.
I don't know how that would even work.
I saw a guy in Marine boot camp that did 48 pull-ups and stopped because he just wasn't tired. He just wanted to stop. His hands weren't bleeding.
No.
48. Like, I don't think Frank is doing 48 fucking pull-ups.
Even if he's doing pull-ups for 48 hours, I don't know that his hands are going to start bleeding like he's been sliced by glass.
Well, that's the thing, is I thought they were going to show us that he was, like, putting glass up there to, like, torture himself.
No, he's just doing so many pull-ups, he's injured his hands. I don't know that I've ever hurt. Your muscles in your arm would tear before that happened.
Nothing against Frank Castle. I've seen his back. He wasn't doing that many pull-ups.
No.
You do that many pull-ups so your hands bleed, your back's going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
So don't fucking tell me.
No, so there were just a lot of elements like that in this whatever you want to call it, that I was just like, I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
And there are moments that really work. But holy shit, I don't know what your plan is here, man. Like, it feels like you had this, someone came in with this idea and they were like, it's Punisher, but he has PTSD.
Yeah.
And Marvel was like, cool, that sounds like something that veterans will be into and other groups will be into. Let's do it. And then they put it out there, and then it's really the snap of the fingers, he's cured thing at the end. That just like it. So now that means nothing, and I can't look back at it and be like, oh, this is like a huge thing about like torture and PTSD. He's just over it. He just gets over it. And then on top of it, the stuff that of him being the Punisher is good, but it also, there's a moment where you're just like, Frank, the woman said she was going to send people who didn't care who they killed. And I know you care about the kids in this building.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you here, man? Why the fuck are you here? And also, and I don't want to be the guy to say this, Frank doesn't have the super soldier serum. he took some wicked falls in this.
When he fell onto the school bus, and then it's like, okay, you fell through scaffolding onto a school bus from 40 feet up?
Yeah.
And then on the ground, and then you got up, spit out some blood, and went back to the fight? No.
As a beat-up 38-year-old who just dislocated his shoulder falling down the stairs, I'm like, okay.
I mean, it's like if Anthony Mackie fought the Hulk. He would just be fine.
Oh my God. Looking back on that, it's hilarious. Like, now that the shroud has fallen, and I can be like, no, it was a bad movie. You don't have to defend it. It was a bad movie. Looking back on that, you can be like, well, he has vibranium wings, and he has a vibranium shield. It's still, the physics of it just don't
still the
quite
fucking
work.
Hulk, man.
It just doesn't really work. It makes you kind of laugh.
I do want to talk about, you mentioned her. Okay.
Yeah.
So halfway through this story.
Yeah.
Judith fucking Light, a.k.a. Angela from Who's the Boss.
Is that who that
shows
was?
up, that's who it was. Shows up in a wheelchair with a henchman that just, his job, they must have put in the job description, have a good stink eye.
Yeah.
Because that's all he does is give the stink eye, but then like flexes a little, like, okay, this guy has no acting
Be available to carry her when she inevitably doesn't want to be carried.
Exactly. But honestly, it reminded me of, did you ever hear the story of Terry Crews, how he got into the movie with Denzel Washington where he's a cop? Training Day. At the end, when they're having the confrontation with gang members with Denzel Washington, Terry Crews is just standing in the background, like his arms folded. He wasn't an actor yet. He was friends with somebody, and the director saw him and said, Jesus, you're big. Can you just stand in the camera and look mean? And that's what he did. And that's what this guy was. Yeah. He was the Terry Crews list. He was just standing. Like you said, he ended up carrying her when she wanted to be. But it's like the whole basic, everything behind that, it's like, okay, like you're the sister of this, the mafia boss, but he didn't kill everybody, and like you're still alive, and like what the fuck does anything have to do with anything? It was
like, oh, it's a reverse Punisher, where like this woman who's the wife of a crime boss loses her entire family to the Punisher, which is what the Punisher is killing people for doing, and it's like, but here's the but. That's a very big stretch at best, because the crime. I think the crime of it all is the big defining factor. You have a bunch of kids who just wanted to ride a merry-go-round, and then you have, a crime family. So I think that's going to undercut your point a little bit.
And kind of what you were saying, I think the biggest problem this movie has is parts of it were done much better in The Raid and Dread. And then also, the gunplay side of it, now that John Wick is a thing, gunplay's been done far better. So it's like you're trying to do bits of both.
I liked when he was going through the building and it was like a video game, and he was like grabbing clips and reloading and then changing.
No, I liked it too.
I like that.
But it's like that's a John Wick thing.
Yeah.
And it's been done so well now, you're like, okay, so now they're stealing from all these things, where the Punisher, I almost wish it would have been more of, he was already the Punisher we see at the end in this movie, and like she confronts him and he says something like, make sure you send enough guys. And like you said, instead of him waiting for them to like start grabbing people and throwing dudes off of balconies, he just comes out and just starts fucking, like he doesn't have to pick up someone's gun because he's out of ammo. He is the fucking Punisher, and he has enough weapons to take out the entire world.
I would love, in all worlds, I can't help it, it is who I am at my core, we go back to Spider-Man.
Okay.
There is a good crossover episode of Spider-Man, the animated series, where after Mary Jane disappears for a variety of reasons, including, but not limited to, a teleporting device, her aunt, Aunt Anna, hires the Punisher to find her by following Peter Parker, because she thinks he's at the center of this, which, yes. Have something like that. Instead of this tortured PTSD thing, have something where he's being hired by somebody in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So you need to go and find somebody. You're a person, my girl, she's been missing for 3 days. I'm worried, sick. I can't think. I can't eat. I can't do anything. I can't imagine what she's gotten herself into. Last I saw her, she was here. And it's like, how old his daughter would be if she hadn't died. And so now he's going to take this job. And then that leads into everything with the mob. And then that's the finale is, you know, you have this moment where he finds where the girl went. He confronts this woman. She says, I'm going to send everybody after you because of who you killed in my life. And he says, bring it.
Yeah.
You're going to need more men. And not these men. These guys are all dead.
And I agree with you. I don't like their solution to PTSD in this. Their solution is go on a killing spree.
Yeah.
And that'll cure your PTSD. It's like, no, that's not. Yeah. That shouldn't be
Find a new
what
mission,
the answer is.
Which can be, and is not exclusively limited to, but can be killing people.
Yeah.
That can be the new mission. Find a new mission for you in your life, including but not limited to killing people. And it's like, I don't know that that's what you want to say. I don't think that comes off the way you want it to come off.
That ending was so ambiguous where so there's an old veteran in the beginning that the bald neo-Nazi guy takes his hat, kills his dog, and then they beat him up a little bit. And then at the end of the movie, Punisher comes out in his full Punisher garb, and he hits the neo-Nazi guy and stops him from attacking somebody. And the neo-Nazi guy's running away. And the old veteran's like, hey, it's got my hat. So he throws a knife in his leg to stop him. And then all the veteran says is, that's not the worst thing he did to me. And that's enough for the Punisher to kill the guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't even say he killed my dog. All he says is, that's not the worst thing he did to me. Okay, taking your hat, the next worst thing could be stealing $20.
Yeah.
And then he's going to shoot him in the fucking head. Yeah. You know, it's like, I was like, dude.
Yeah.
That one was a little like, okay, that was murder.
I just feel like here's the thing. We as an audience hate that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Frank has no reason to hate that guy.
Yes.
And that's the problem. If Frank had always marked him every time we see him beat someone up in the neighborhood, and Frank sees every single time and kind of like checklists it, but doesn't have the will to do something about it, okay, that's something. We don't even really have that. I think Frank sees him maybe once in the entire thing, and it's just not enough of a connection for him to be like, I'm going to kill this guy because he's a hoodlum in the neighborhood that's making things worse. Like, I just feel like there's more interesting things you can do with the Punisher, and if you want to do PTSD, that can be part of it.
Yeah.
But doing it this way, I don't think that this is a good portrayal of PTSD. I don't think that this is a good portrayal of mental health.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think this is a good portrayal of men's mental health. Like, there's just a lot of things about this that I'm just like, okay, on a social thing, which is what you could argue this was done this way for, you fail.
You fail.
And on a Punisher level, you kind of, it's not a fail, but it's not...
It's not the home run you were thinking it was. And it was disappointing because this was written and produced by John Barenthal. Like, he was one of the
And he took it very seriously.
Yes.
And I think he got a lot of it right, and I think he got a lot of it wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. I think that this is... Whereas most Marvel things are half-baked, I think this is like 2/3 baked. It's still a little gummy in the middle. Yeah. And if you served it to a chef in a competitive series, they'd be like, well, this isn't fully cooked. But it's not as raw as some of their other ideas. Yeah. But I just wish they did more. I'm
going to take that scene you were talking about where he threatens, or where he kills the guy, and how they dealt with the neo-Nazi. I recently have watched I love this movie, The Great Time Cop, with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And there is the scene in the beginning where a guy on rollerblades steals a purse from a lady, and Jean-Claude just puts his foot up in a full split in the guy's face and says, pretty much, rethink your fucking life. This could have been, he's ready to run and hit somebody, runs into the Punisher, gets knocked onto the ground, and as he's looking up, you're scanning up the Punisher and you see the skull and you're like, oh, fuck. And then the Punisher's like, you need to rethink your fucking choices. And this
guy becomes one of the Punisher's guys in the neighborhood that
Or he just shits himself and runs away. Yeah. But it's like, no, we're going to fucking put a bullet in his head for no... I mean... Once again, he has the reason because we know the reason, but to the Punisher, he gets a bullet in his head for no reason.
Yeah, he takes the word of one person.
Yes, and it's not even a descriptive word. No. It's just a basic. I think you should kill him.
Yeah. Okay. And there's a lot of that going around in this neighborhood.
Yeah,
I think the one guy that doesn't feel that way is the guy that runs the deli, who I really like.
That was a great scene.
I thought that was great. I thought that stuff with the deli and the girl, I thought every time that guy showed up, he was great. I want to get his name because I've seen him in other things.
Yeah, in the fight in the deli, I think that would be my favorite scene of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Was that where he is running to the deli, takes out a couple guys, gets to the deli, just fucking kills everybody.
Yeah.
And it's kind of where the adults look at him as a monster, but the girl knows you saved our lives.
Yes. The Frankenstein.
And kind of. Yeah, but I there's a fucking movie that did that, and I can't... where a kid is like, thank you. Like, the adults are like, you're evil. And the kid's like, no, they just fucking saved our goddamn life. And the little girl, like, she gave him, what, a flower?
A flower.
Oh, like, that was great.
Yeah.
I fucking love that scene.
Andre Royo was the dad.
Yes.
Who owns the diner and is, like, the driving force of, like, good in the neighborhood.
Yes, the empathy he shows to the mentally challenged, the guy that's having all kinds of mental issues, and
he doesn't kick him out right away. He tries to help him.
Yes.
And it just gets to a point where he's like, you gotta go. You gotta go. And again, people I've seen in my former neighborhood. These are people I knew in passing.
Yep.
Of, like, situations that I knew in passing. I knew homeless people like that were just, they really needed help. They didn't have anybody that could give it to them, and they were just left wandering around, and they would just wander into places and cause trouble and anxiety for the people trying to go about their day, but they didn't mean anything by it. They weren't being evil. They were just having a bad time. And it's just like, I remember all of these things, and that's what I loved about that element of it. I wish there was more of Frank connecting to that roots of the neighborhood. And instead, like, when he's walking down the street, and it's just chaos and evil.
And he's not
doing anything.
It
makes me sick
nuts.
to my stomach.
Yes.
It's just like, no, there's no way the Frank I know who has gone through the things I've seen this Frank go through is going to watch all of this happen and do nothing about it. I just don't believe that.
Because the real Punisher would have killed all of them.
Yeah.
And all of the people that were getting victimized would have been like, I didn't fucking say anything.
Yeah.
They would be on his side.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 1,000%. That scene pissed me off.
It made me so mad.
So
and
much.
I get it. That's the point. But, like, unfortunately, there's a lot of that. Like, I'll give you either you can have the scene where he walks down the street and he doesn't do anything, or you can have one of the many scenes from when he visits his daughter's grave. Also weird that he only visits his daughter's grave and doesn't talk about his son or his wife who are buried right next to her. But whatever, it's fine. So I don't mind that we keep coming back to that. That's fine. It's a little excessive to have 3 trips to the cemetery and the scene of him walking past all this carnage. And it's just like, yeah, I get it. Frank is fucked up.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that Frank is fucked up. I feel like this took it too far of, like, he's so lost that he's not the Punisher anymore. And I'm like, this
it's not the, like,
this sucks, man.
Frank Castle was at his most lost right after the death of his family.
Yeah.
And then he quickly kind of turned into the Punisher. We had 2 seasons of him already. And once again, I know Marvel can say, well, they're not really part of the canon. They are part of this.
They're getting closer and closer all the time.
They're really fucking part of this. And so it's like, we already had 2 seasons of him going through this, and he already became the Punisher, and now we're going to regress.
Yeah.
And then bring him back at the end of this just so he can go into a PG-13 Spider-Man movie and not kill anybody?
That's the other thing is, like, what was the purpose of this? Like, we've already had so much growth from Frank. So what do we gain by watching him go? He's more torn up about not having the mission of avenging his family than the death of his family. Like, when he was at his lowest after his family died, it didn't look like this. No. And it's just like, I don't know, man. I just feel like...
And his mission early on was, I need to take out every bad guy, and I need to not send him to prison, but to fucking kill him.
Even at the beginning of, I think it's the beginning of season 1, we see him on a construction site.
Yeah.
Like, he's not lost, he's just inactive, right? And it's just like, this felt weird.
Yeah.
This felt weird and out of place and out of context, and then they didn't provide any context to back it up. And there was elements that felt like, oh, it's another day in Marvel, but then there were other elements that were like, how long has it been?
Exactly.
For Frank.
That's the problem, and it will be your and I problem with MCU in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Is we don't know when shit's happening. Because it doesn't make sense that this is currently happening, because if it was before the Kingpin, then Daredevil would have stopped him.
Yeah.
Or would have solved all these problems. But if it's after the Kingpin, then we know Spider-Man's here. And where's all the Kingpin stuff? Where's anyone talking about what happened in New York? And
it's like, it makes it such a problem because when I do that math and I say, okay, it may have been upwards of 12 years since the end of Punisher Season 2. That's an eternity.
Yeah.
Like, on the light side, it's been 8 years. It could have been as much as 12 years. That's crazy. What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
Like 13 years? Of course people have died and there's all this cycling. You can do literally anything at that point. It's no wonder why they won't commit to a time or date. It's because, why would they? They can make characters exist at any point in this crazy cockamamie timeline that they've developed and have it be like, oh, of course you had to reset. Curtis died 6 years ago, and Frank's just been torn up since. It's like, man, that would have been good to see, man.
Now I gotta hit the explicit tab because you said cockamamie. I gotta, we were doing good until the cockamamie comes out. And then, so
I think that this is like a C+ for me. I like enough of it to like it, but I don't know that I'm gonna love it.
I'm gonna give it a flat C.
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, a lot of that is that 10-minute part where he's taking out people and then has the fight in the deli. The rest of it, I could have done without.
It's not great. It's not nearly as good as you want it to be. And it's like, oh, Frank is tortured. Okay. And then it oscillates between Frank is tortured and self-mutilating. Frank is tortured and talking to his dead family. Frank is tortured and having hallucinations. And it's just like, it's just one variant of that flavor for the first 30 minutes. And then there's 15 minutes of hyperviolence and then a 3-minute denouement and we're out. And it's just like, I wanted this to be better than it was, and I agree with a lot of sentiment that I've seen on the internet, which is like what you said. It's really weird to do this and then go into a PG-13 version, which will be fully neutered from all of the everything we just saw.
Ridiculously. And it makes you really kind of wondering, as much as I need, if you're going to do Punisher, you got to do it hyper-violent. Part of me kind of wanted this to be James Bond violence because they need to tone it down to fit in the fucking Marvel. I still don't know how they're gonna do Deadpool and Doomsday and all that. I have no fucking clue how they're gonna do that. But if they would have done a James Bond, there's no real swearing, there's shit and ass, and they say one F word, and there's a lot of killing, we don't see blood, but something that they could get away with saying, okay, well, this would be an easier transition than PG-13, because even Daredevil Born Again, it's kind of pushing it to say it's R.
I wouldn't call it R. It's
a lot of people, I know. It would have been a PG-13 in the 80s.
Yeah.
So it would have been PG in the 80s. What am I talking about?
I would call it a PG, a hard PG-13. Yeah. On the far line of PG-13. But frankly, I think that there were elements in the Ben Affleck Daredevil that were more hardcore than some elements in
I forgot that movie so much. The only scene I remember about that movie is with the introduction of Bullseye, where he's doing darts.
Yeah.
I love that scene. That's the only scene I like in the movie, because I thought if that could be his character throughout, and then they kind of fucked it up.
Yeah, no, there were a lot of potential in that movie, and a lot of it falls flat on its face. It's just, it doesn't work. And I'm so annoyed that after all of that, when Happy Hogan is in Peter Parker's apartment and Matt Murdock walks in, there's not any reference to him having been Foggy Nelson at one point, maybe at some point. We're not going to... You smell like Foggy. You smell like my partner. You must wear the same aftershave. Something.
When he's saying that he needs to get an attorney, he goes, "What? I don't think still." And he goes, "Is your head a little foggy or something like that?"
Give me something. Give me something. Yeah. Come on. We know. You know. We know. So
or have I'll be honest, this would have been a long shot, but I would have laughed my tits off with them sitting there and have Ben Affleck deliver a pizza or something like that, just something.
Or a real deep cut of Matt puts mustard in Foggy's coffee. Which Foggy does to Matt.
Yes, he does.
So a real deep cut, but give me something. Right. We would all love it. And then people would be like, I kind of vaguely remember enjoying that movie around the time I liked Evanescence. And the same, it's kind of a flat circle in that way.
You just want to be woken up inside. That's all you want. So what I will say is this does not give me a modicum of hope to anything future in the MCU. Because I'm maybe if they do this well, I'll have hope. Because, once again, I do not consider Deadpool and Wolverine part of the MCU, even though it is. It is completely devoid of all the issues that happen in anything else. But I am so nervous of Doomsday. I think Doomsday is going to be absolute dog shit. It's going to be an over CGI'd mess.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's going to have a direction. And if so, what possible direction? Because they already closed this universe.
Yeah.
They literally played closing time. Like, this universe closed. We all went home. I guess it was Green Day. But even so, like, we all kind of called it a day and said this universe is done. And then we packed it up. And then it was reborn again because Deadpool was so successful. And we were like, okay, we'll close it down. You know, hey, it's great that this bar got to reopen, but let's be real here. It's time to close it down.
Yep.
And then the MCU is like, no, hang on. We got to get a finger on this ball. It's like, you don't. Okay, what to what end? You're going to bring 60-year-old Alan Cumming back and put him in full blue face paint again? Like, what are we doing? I'm not saying we don't need to do it. I'm saying that this could be, I would argue, a 20-minute scene in a larger movie of the old universe dying and the new universe being born, and I just don't know that it's necessary to do an entire movie over it, but I guess we'll find out.
It's giving, this movie could have been an email.
Yes, this movie could have been an email.
And it's like I'm so apprehensive. I know we're gonna have to see it in the theater because it is the big thing. But I am very, very, very
I literally haven't
out.
watched a single trailer. To my mind, I still am very confused why Chris Evans is part of this at all, because to my knowledge, he left. He was done. And so the only thing I can think of is that he's going to come back as evil Hydra Cap, which is like the worst fucking thing. And one of the things I hate literally the most in comic book history. It's the thing that gets closest to One More Day.
Yeah.
Like, nothing will break One More Day's evil. Evil villainy, terrible awfulness.
Well,
but this gets close!
To be honest, you look at it and you take out the RDJ Oscar, no one's had a really solid career. Mark Ruffalo has had a good career as like a character actor, but not a number one. Mm-hmm. And all of these people were like, our careers are going to be great. And they're all tanked. And it's like, we need the paycheck. We need to be relevant again. We need to get back out there. I'm curious of... I don't know if it's been said, because I know it's been said that they're going to have the OG X-Men in there.
Yes.
But are they going to have the First Class at all?
Well, so the implication that I've gotten is that this takes place in the rebooted universe post First Class. So First Class, Days of Future Past, hard reboot. This takes place in the rebooted universe.
Got you.
So the one that Logan wakes up in at the end of Days of Future Past.
Okay.
That's the universe that this takes place in.
Because, the problem with having all of the X-Men, especially, and I love these two, and we just talked about one in the Watch, Play, Read, they're so fucking old now, especially Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
I know.
I mean, they're pushing 90, and you're going to put them in a wheelchair in a fucking suit and lifting metal. It's like...
That was the thing that was impressive about Ian McKellen's one-man show. Was like, we were talking and we were doing the math, and it was like, so he had to be 80 when he did this.
Yeah.
And he jokes about 82 and being ancient at 82.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that was in 2020 that was recorded.
Yeah.
So, dude's old.
And like that last season of Picard, man, I was glad it ended because I love Patrick Stewart, but fuck, man,
we got it in. We got it in right under the deadline.
And so it's like, I don't even his cameo in the Multiverse of Madness. I was like, I could buy it in that one scene.
My problem
but
is,
like, I hope he's not a big part of the movie.
I don't know what to expect from this.
I don't know either.
Like, they had that whole lineup of chairs, and you're just like, how much time are any of these people actually in this movie for, though? Like, you have all of your quote-unquote new Avengers in here and the Thunderbolts. How much time are they actually going to be in this movie for? Yeah. I don't understand, and I haven't watched anything, so I come from a place of darkness anyway.
Well, in your defense, there hasn't really been anything.
Yeah.
They've had those character introduction trailers, and they really don't show or say anything.
Yeah.
So
really I just, I don't know what to expect from this, but very honestly... I joked about this with you when we were leaving Mortal Kombat 2. And we were looking at the Doomsday big standee that they had 8 months early. And I turned to you and I said, they're pulling a Matrix, and it's probably going to work out just about as well.
Yeah.
Where you're going to have this big tentpole blockbuster come out in December, and then you're going to have the big tentpole sequel to the blockbuster come out in May. And it's just like, I was there, and I remember.
Yeah.
When all of us were like, oh, there's another Matrix movie already? Okay, all right, I guess we're doing it. And it's both were bad. And I don't know, man. I think between A, the superhero bubble being popped. B, other superheroes coming in and showing other more interesting takes on the genre. C, the continued deficit of the Russo's ability to make filmmaking vis-a-vis some of the things that they've made sense, and including some of the bigger Marvel things that at the time we loved, and in retrospect you kind of look back and you're like, but I don't know about this one thing. I look at all of these elements and I just wonder, why would I think this is going to work given that, like, you come into my bank of nerd with this terrible debt-ridden proposal, and then this is your proposal to get out of debt.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that this is just going to put you further in debt.
I'm there with you. Yeah. I'm not buying it. I don't have a lot of warm fuzzies, but that is for another day, my friend. Yep. Well, you know what that is? That is episode 193 in the books of NerdPod Generations. We are just one step closer to the big episode 200. So make sure you like and subscribe our show on either YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Once again, you can do that from our website at nerdpodgen.com. And Al, who does our music and our artwork?
Our music is by Kortney Howell. Our art is by... Nope, that's not right. Our art is by Kortney Howell. Our music is by Brendan Williams and James Connelly. I am Alfred Judson.
And I'm Steve Taylor.
And until next week, friends and enemies, I have no fucking clue what we're going to talk about, but we'll hopefully solve our video problems by then.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
All right. Have a good week, friends and enemies.